Hello, this is Dr. Natalie Bosha, and welcome to the show Empowering Women in Chiropractic. Thank you to ChiroSecure for putting on such great shows for us chiropractors to stay engaged, motivated, and I guess feel like we're not alone in our practices. So, my topic today, I thought I would share with you what I use in my practice to educate my patients. And it focuses a lot on the doctor's report. So let's go over the three main key points that I'm going to talk about. I have been doing a doctor's report in person for many, many years, and I changed the format to a virtual one about, I'm going to guess, 8 years ago. And I want to share with you the strategies that I implemented and how it's going into my office. So let's say understand why it's important for us to pre-educate our patient. I'm going to show you the format and how I made it seamless into my practice. And you'll see that, I have like plan A, plan B, plan C to make sure that people do watch the video, and how to preset the stage also for your recommendations. So it's all about, I guess, positioning what you're going to talk about, but also that the patients really understand. So let's start with the first point here. So why is it that we need to pre-educate our patients? First, I strongly believe that it is our job as doctors. Many other practitioners don't necessarily take the time to educate. Either it's not something that they are taught, and I think as chiropractors, we are great educators. And also, I always say to patients when they don't watch the video that I take your health very seriously. And I don't want you not to understand certain things. I don't want you to be scared about anything. So it's very important for me that you see that video. And I always say, I also respect my profession way too much to have you not understand it, because it's such a wonderful profession and the results are amazing. So I want to make sure that you know what is happening. It also really helps for conversion to care, because if people don't understand something, how can they convert themselves or understand what is right for them at this specific time? Also, better care outcome, because if they understand what you're trying to achieve, they're going to be more compliant at keeping their appointments and doing the exercise. If you do rehabilitation type of exercise in your practice, better retention as well. And I think, again, if people don't understand what your goal is, because their goal oftentimes is getting out of pain. So once you've achieved that, if you don't have anything else to kind of hold them and have something to measure, if you're saying that symptoms are just the tip of the iceberg kind of thing, if you do your education properly at the beginning, it really does pay dividend down the road, because your retention is going to be that much higher, and it has a bigger impact in your community as well. I think most of us become chiropractors to make an impact in our communities, and the better our patients are educated, they also are better at explaining the results and the changes in their health that they are getting in their own lives to their friends. So let's talk a bit more logistic about the format and the system that I've integrated throughout the years. So what should the PowerPoint or the presentation look like? Most of you probably already have your doctor's report. So when I say doctor's reports, I know some people do one-on-one with the patient explaining the results. I've been using a doctor's report for, my God, 25 years, as long as I've been in practice. And it is, I always say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And it's one thing for me to be talking, but if patients can see, what they should look like or what normal should like, and if they have visual, and, I give tons of analogies in my presentation, I can't do a great job one-on-one each time. So the way I do it is I have them watch this recorded doctor's report, and I'll tell you where I'm hosting all of this. And then I go over their one-on-one results. And very, very often I have people thank me for putting this presentation together, because they say, oh my God, I had no idea. So before, used to do it in person. And again, now doing it virtually is even more accepted now, because a lot of time, big events are not happening as much as they used to be. So just going over what I have in my presentation, and you have to ask yourself this question. In your practice, with your style of practice, what do you want your patients to know? What have you been repeating for 25 years? I kind of did it too, because after so many years, you're like, you know what? I don't mind kind of repeating myself when it has something particular to the person, but why not leverage my time and be more efficient? So I always start with talking about signs and symptoms, how they are our alarm system. Then I really focus on the brain-body communication. And I have this photo of an MRI with the brain and the spinal cord, because I really want, people to see that the rest of their spine is connected to their brain and how it has an impact. Then I talk about the chiropractic approach to health. I go over the 4 key basic principles. I don't go over the 33 of them. That'd just be way too much. But I go about our approach to care. And then I use in my office the Insight Subluxation Station. So I talk about the core score, what the results mean. So I go over a thermal scan, I go over SCMG, and I go over HRV, explaining what they should be looking at when I will give them their own results. And then I go over X-ray degeneration phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, because that's something I found that patients were asking, where do I fit in compared to other people? So this way, I'm really answering that question, and even saying that it's got almost nothing to do with age. It's how much or how long your spine has been out of alignment that will oftentimes guides the degeneration to be more complex or extended for people. Then I talk about the techniques that I use. So whatever technique your office uses, I use a combination of 3. I explain the 3. This way, if I use the drop of the table, they don't go, oh my goodness, what is this woman doing to me? If I use the activator, they know. I even make a joke in my doctor's report that with patient, I call it Mr. Tuk Tuk. So I know they've watched the video when, I take the activator, and they know, oh, it's Mr. Tuk Tuk. So I don't strictly use the activator, but I have it as a tool in my office. I use mostly Diversified, and I do explain that as well. And then a question we always get, how often should I be adjusted? And I particularly do my doctor's reports or my recommendation on the second time that I adjust them. And I talk about that. So, I always say I get a little bit more information after I see how you held your first adjustment, and I'd like to do my recommendation at the next visit. So I say that in the video. So oftentimes, now I don't get that question, how often. I'll go over that with you at your next visit. If you're doing it in the same visit, that's fine. You can answer it there as well. And that leads into the 3 types of care. I talk about symptomatic, I talk about corrective care and wellness care, and I position what they are. I say maybe you're in our office just to get rid of pain, and then I'll go on to if you've lost your cervical lordosis and you have major issues and your core score is low, you might need corrective care, and then I pre-frame what it is. And then wellness care, just showing and telling people how people who get checked and adjusted regularly can have such benefit. Then I also offer all our new patient family evaluation. Again, you have to check with your province or state or what is okay for you to offer. But for me, I'm thinking when the patient looks at or listens to this video, they should be wanting to get their spouse and family checked. So I do offer it, and I say, in the next 2 weeks, I'm offering for your family to be evaluated. And then what difference they should be expecting. I go over, some people don't see any difference at all. Some people might be a little bit sore, and I compare it to if you go to the gym and you haven't done a workout in a bit, you're going to feel your muscles. And some people, feel a huge difference right away. And so I tell them that those can be the three ways that they can feel. And then I welcome them to chiropractic, and that I'm looking forward to go over their reports with them that is more specific. So now I've talked about chiropractic, I've talked about the nervous system, I've talked about the scans, I've talked about the x-rays, the technique that I use, that I will do my recommendation on the next visit, but I will adjust them when they come in. So when they come in, they're ready, they're excited. And some people will even open the folder before I go in the room because they're excited and they're curious, because now they know what they're looking at. At first, I was, a little bit rattled when people would do that, but now I just smile because it shows me that the person is interested in discovering what's going on with them. So that's what I put in my presentation. So ask yourself, what can you put in your presentation if you already have a doctor's report and maybe you have a health class? Maybe you want to consider cutting the part to be more specific to stuff that I just talked about, and then do your health part, your health class as a second part of it. Now, my first doctor's report recording was probably 40 minutes, and it was way too long. Now I have it down to, I think, 25 minutes. I even would like to have it down less than that, because let's face it, people's span of attention are pretty short these days. So the most concise you can have it, and the more visual you can have it, I think you have great success. So the way I go about this is a 3-step process, because when patients haven't watched a video, I'm like, oh God, they're going to be missing so many aspects, and I just don't feel good about it. So I've gone on to create a 3-step process to make sure that we're telling them 3 times. So the first one, I created, I think it was through Vistaprint and Canva, literally a thank you for choosing our office. And I have a URL that goes strictly to the doctor's report. And I literally, that's when I leave the room, I take this card, and I have a core score card, and I say, Joe, now that we're all done, you're new to chiropractic, so I recorded this video that I'd really like you to watch. It's going to explain the core score. What are the tests that we did? It explains the nervous system, and I'll point at my chart. And then it also explains, when we look at x-rays as chiropractor, what I'm looking for and I'm looking at. Make sure that you watch it, because if you don't, kind of make a joke, if you don't, you're going to be a little bit, lost. And that's the last thing that I want, is for you to not understand. So I'm literally giving that to them in their hands with it. And the compliance of doing it is very good. I used to delegate to my staff, and not that they didn't do it, I'm sure they did, but somehow when it comes to you, the doctor, it makes a huge difference. So that's step 1. Step 2 is, once the patient is done, I use Infusionsoft as a platform, but whatever platform you use for your staff to send them an email, thank you for choosing our office, here's the link of the video again. And I believe that I have also, a little video of me thanking them for choosing the office. So my staff literally has to click that link that says doctor's report video, enter the name of the patient and their email, and voila, it's gone. We don't have to think about it. And that's my back staff person that does that. And the third step, just to play it safe, is for, actually, this is a screenshot of what my doctor's report video looks like. I'm hosting it on Vimeo. I've decided to not have it flat out on my site for people to see. I decided to have it strictly to a redirected link. And the reason is that, I think there's a time and a place for people to watch the video. And I really believe that the time and the place is right after they leave my office. And the cool thing too with having this is, oftentimes they'll say, honey, come and watch this. And then, next thing you know, the spouse is in the office because they watch your video and it made sense to them and they want to come in as patients. So it really has a twofold aspect. And the third component, like I said, to play it safe, is for my staff to confirm their appointment on day 2. We don't call to confirm, daily adjustments and all that. That's automated through our chiropractic software and SMS. But that one, I ask that my morning staff confirms for the next day. And if she is talking to the person, she'll remind them to watch a doctor's report. And if she's leaving a message, she's saying, please make sure you watch a doctor's report. If you haven't found the link or you've lost the card or whatever, just call us back. So since I've implemented those 3 steps, it's very, very rare that patients will not have watched the video. And if they haven't, a little tip for you guys, if they haven't, I have my staff ahead of me going into the room asking why. And the reason is that I want to see if, their answer is going to tell me a lot. I'm going to see if they're serious about, their care and, what I'm going to provide to them. And sometimes too, there's a legit reason for it. I remember, and I felt horrible, and you learn by your mistakes, is I, kind of was disappointed that this woman hadn't watched the video and so forth. And I might have been a bit short. And I did ask her, and her husband was in the hospital with cancer, and she slept there last night. Talk about feeling horrible about, being short. So I find if the staff ask and they tell me the reason, then I can make kind of a judgment call, if, I'm going to be a little bit more solid or firm about the person to say, look, you're coming in for help. It's something that I really need you to do, and so forth. And then if they haven't watched, then I'll decide if I send them home to watch. I have done that in the past, especially people that are already anxious and nervous, were their last resort. Again, I respect our profession too much for them not to understand what we do. So those steps have really, really helped us have patients understand. But I think the main one is me telling them to watch that video, and I tell them it's 20 minutes so they can plan for it. And if you keep it light and you tell them that it's for their benefit, most people will be happy that you have done that. So now let's talk a little bit about what could be in the doctor's report. And again, just sharing, I know that all of us have different styles of practice. So in the folder, and we called it literally the purple folder because it is purple. I believe it is with one of the companies that also works with CLA. So it's focusing more on core score. I have the x-ray that are marked. I have the subluxation chart. I have a great HRV result page that shows the 4 quadrants. I'm a big fan of HRV. I have so many discussion with patients about HRV in terms of getting a feel about the stress in their lives. And it just makes such a great conversation to see what else is going on in their lives and how serious they are about improving their health. I also have an X-ray degeneration chart that, I'll say based on this. And I really try, excuse me, to have a bit of a Socratic approach when I do this and ask them, you saw the video, you saw the 3 phases of care. Based on what I just show you, where do you think you fit? So especially when people are analytical, I like to do that because it gets them really engaged. And then the family evaluation, I have it as a handout or a certificate. And then I also use a choice of care one pager, and I'll show you what I mean by the 3 types of care. But that was a big thing also in our office when we did this, because I'm literally asking them, you've watched the video, you heard about symptomatic, corrective, and wellness care. What do you want? And I find, again, that just gives me insight of where their head is. And if they check the 3, then I know that they're open to whatever my recommendations are going to be. But if they only check symptomatic, okay. And then on that sheet that I have, it also asks them how serious from a scale of 1 to 10 they are about, doing something to better their health. And if they put a 6 or a 7, I will have the discussion. Why did you put that? And sometimes it's financial issues, sometimes it's time issues, sometimes, you don't know. So I'm just really liking that sheet because it tells me where they're at and it makes my communication better. I'm still going to do the same recommendation on what's best for them, but at least it tells me more what they think. And I think also that they feel more heard, that I told the doctor this is what I wanted. So it's just, it just really decreases the stress. So that's what is in the folder, and then patients leave with that. And then I always say, I don't even call it a care plan. I always say our action plan, and we can go over that at your next visit. And then the 3 types of care and the sheet that I was talking about. I mean, this is a shorter version, but again, I call them the 3 R's: the relief, the restore, and the revitalize. And it just gives me a really good idea of, like I said, what people want. And then the second last slide here is created a video for the doctor's report. I've also created a video for why they should be continuing care. This one is about, I would say 8-9 minutes. And it goes directly to a URL where the video is hosted. And my patients are sent that towards the end of their care plan, so that it is a symptomatic care plan, a corrective care plan, a wellness care plan. They're seeing this video, and I talk about the long-term benefit of chiropractic. So this one is more wellness focused. So again, telling them that now that you're out of pain, remember what we talked about, and here are the benefits of chiropractic care for you. So leveraging all that, and again, this is in our campaign. My staff knows where to go, triggers the email, and it's done. So this way, I feel good about educating patients and then putting ownership on them to what's best for them at this point in their life. But I know that they know what my recommendations are. And it's just, doing it that way, I feel good as a doctor that they understand what is going on and what chiropractic is. And I think the patient feels good as well, because many, as I said when we first started, they don't feel heard, and they go to different practitioners, and everybody's behind their keyboard, and just, and now it could be on the phone, it could be on Zoom. So just for a patient to actually see a real person, but also feel heard, that, of what's going on in their life, and for you to be able to relate, I think can make a huge impact. So hopefully this was helpful to you. If you don't have a virtual doctor's report and you do one in person, you could transition that virtually. If you do kind of a doctor's report / health class, you may want to consider kind of separating the two. But I have to say that this making this as a procedure in my office and steps in my office has made a huge difference into conversion, retention, all of the stuff that I've talked about. So hopefully that got your brain going on what it can mean to you, to your office, because I realize we're all different, but leveraging our time and making it even easier for a patient, because they watch it on their own time. So, it gives them the flexibility. So hopefully this was helpful to you, and you can find some pearls in this to integrate some of the steps that I talked about in your office. So this was Dr. Nathalie Beauchamp for Empowering Women in Chiropractic. Again, a big thank you to ChiroSecure for putting on those amazing shows to keep us engaged and always learning. So thank you.
Join us each week as we bring you the best in business growth, practice management, social media marketing, networking, leadership, and lots more. If it's about women in practice and business, you'll hear it here. We hope you enjoyed this week's Facebook Live event. Please like us on Facebook, comment, and share. We look forward to seeing all of you next week for another episode of Empowering Women in Chiropractic. Now, go ahead and hit the share button and tell your friends and colleagues about the show. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. This has been a Cairo Secure production.